Welcome back. This is episode 14 of Home Theater Gurus. So today we're going to be going over DSU. And if you're not sure what that is Dolby Surround Up Mixer. When you're not watching something that's natively in Dolby Atmos, say you're watching something that's in 7.1 or 5.1, this is the up mixer that is used to bring the sounds from the bed layer up. It's kind of similar to DPL or Dolby Pro Logic 2, where we used to take 5.1 and it would give us rears and create a 7.1 experience. Now, of course, this is much more advanced, but it's still an up mixer and it's taking something with less channels and giving us more channels than we had before. So now that you know that DSU is the up mixer, a lot of you may have heard that the Dolby Surround Up Mixer isn't very aggressive, or some people don't like it. But that's total opinion. What we're going to go over today is we're going to have a demonstration, and you're going to hear just how much information is sent to those top speakers. In my room here, I have a 7-channel amp that runs the bed layer. So I can just reach over there and turn that amp off, and you're going to hear nothing but the top speakers playing. And it's a good example just to kind of get a feel for how much content is up there. If you watch a clip with the bed layer off, you really realize there's a lot going on up there. And not only is there a lot going on, it does a really good job of staying discreet. The scenes that we're going to watch are going to have a few, one is Oblivion, and Tom Cruise is like, he yells, and it should be heard all throughout the room, and it is. But when something is discreet, or say it remains on the center channel, and shouldn't be heard all throughout the room, it doesn't. So it does a good job of being kind of believable. It doesn't just send everything in the room up to the top speakers, and that would sound kind of goofy. But like the music and things like that, things that should be room filling and explosions, that stuff is heard really, really well, and it does a really good job of creating more of an atmospheric experience, even when something's not in Atmos. And actually, sometimes, if an Atmos mix is not done very well, and it's not a very aggressive mix, I kind of like it better with DSU doing the work, because DSU is always, in my opinion, fairly aggressive. And even on some movies that have really good Atmos, you can try them in DSU, and DSU is very, very surprisingly good. Now, of course, it's not going to place objects like something that's natively in Atmos will, because it's having to pull information from the surround channels and figure out what needs to be lifted and more, immersive. It doesn't know where objects should be placed in the room, so it's going to be less of an accurate method, versus having something that's actually in Atmos. But it is going to be a much more enjoyable experience than just watching 5.1 or 7.1, because it just fills the room so much more and kind of pulls you into the action. So it's a really good option when you don't have native Atmos available on whatever you're watching. Now, a lot of you have probably heard the Atmos speakers don't matter. They don't have to resemble the other speakers in the room. They kind of take a back seat in some people's minds. But as we know from episode 3, because hopefully we watched episode 3, if you haven't, go back and watch it. Here's a pop-up of it right here. But in episode 3, we used Dolby's recommendations to guide us through an Atmos setup. And they recommend, and I'm going to read it from my phone here so I don't misquote them, the overhead speaker should complement the frequency, response, output, and power handling of the listener level speakers. So ideally, we're going to have the same speakers everywhere in the room. All of the speakers are going to basically be identical. And if not, we do the best we can, but we don't need to just let the Atmos speakers take a back seat and, not have high importance in their quality. We want them to be on axis, just like all the other speakers need to be on axis. We want good sound. That's going to help DSU and Atmos in general be able to do its job much better and give you a better experience. Okay, so enough about that. We're fixing to head into the movie room, and we're going to do a little test. Like I said, I'm going to turn my bed layer amp off. We're going to play a minute or two of a couple different scenes, and the first part of it's going to be with the bed layer off. So it's going to be just the 4 top speakers being upmixed from 5.1. And then after that, we're going to play the exact same part of the clip with the bed layer amp on, so it'll be the entire system, just so you can kind of get an idea of how much content is actually being sent up there. And like I said, it is a tremendous amount, and the experience is way, way better with the upmixing versus just watching 5.1 or 7.1. Now you're going to hear me mention that I'm using the Xbox One, and there's a flaw in the way it handles Atmos as far as upmixing goes. We're not going to talk about it in this episode. It's going to be the next episode. So make sure you check that episode out after you've watched this one. And it'll be out a day or two after this video comes out. All right, so let's head into the movie room. Okay, we're going to start with a scene from Oblivion. This is going to be just the 4 Atmos top speakers and the subs. This, I believe, is, I don't think it's 5.1. I think this is 7.1, but it is not Atmos. This is just a Blu-ray copy on Vudu. Now I'm going to pause it here. I want you to notice how the vocals, like when he's in the ship, the sound is bouncing around in the ship, and like she's screaming. So that's why we're hearing this in the Atmos channels, is because it's supposed to kind of surround us, and it's mixed into the surrounds, and that's how it knows to pull it up to the Atmos, because it's supposed to be immersive sound. And you're going to notice in a little while when she's talking, it's discrete to the center channel, so we're not going to hear it at all. So it's not going to just upmix everything. It's going to upmix what it knows is supposed to kind of fill the room. Alright guys, so there you have it. I mean, you kind of heard it for yourself. Now I know you're on a cell phone or you're in your living room, wherever you're watching this. You're not hearing Atmos. We're not here to hear Atmos. We're here to hear how much content is being sent up there, and that's it. You know, so it's definitely not a inactive experience. There's a lot going on up there and a lot being sent up there. So I mean, if you think about your bed layer, everything is at ear level. There's no way to get that sound above you without those top speakers. And those top speakers are alive. I mean, there's a ton of information. Even in scenes, you know, these reaction scenes, even in scenes, you know, nature scenes where there's birds chirping, wind, you know, leaves falling, rain. I mean, no matter what it is, it does an awesome job. I mean, it's every bit as active as any other surround speaker in the room. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this one. This wasn't a real long episode. I just wanted to kind of show y'all what DSU is capable of. Alright guys, do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when the next episode comes out. Make sure you check the description. I'm going to start putting Amazon links down in the description, just a few little cool things that I see each week that I think some of you may be interested in. I mean, one week it may be something for the DIYers. I'm a DIYer, you know, just something really cool, a really handy but cheap tool. Just cool things I want to share with y'all. And make sure to check out the next episode if you're using an Xbox One especially if you're using Xbox One and you aren't really satisfied with your Dolby Atmos, because the Xbox One can actually do upmixing, and that's where it fails as far as I'm concerned. So there's a way to make sure that you're not letting that happen in the settings, and we're going to go over that, and I'm actually going to do another experiment, and we're going to take readings so you can see how much more active it is when the Xbox isn't doing the upmixing. So that's going to be it for this one. I'll see y'all for the next one.